What is up, my fellow Ningen? It is the one and only Cyberman 312 coming at you live from the 31st universe, bringing you all an ad-free with zero interruptions rendition of Dragon Ball Super Theory. Alright, this is actually a Dragon Ball Super Theory vid, so go ahead and leave your opinion right now. Just kidding, whenever you want. If you want, feel free. You already know how. Thank you very much for clicking on and tapping on or whatever, and checking the video out. Does mean a lot. Feedback is also really helpful. But anyway, gonna go ahead and talk about Zamasu, everyone's favorite Dragon Ball Super villain. The guy everybody loves to hate. You love that you hate him. And he took over Goku's body. Okay, so what happened was, as a lot of us know, he is a god with as a big YouTuber out there who's pretty cool. Shout outs, Masako X. He said, a god with a god complex. Damn, dude, that shit's so spot on. But with that said, I want to say that, what if Zamasu wanted to be good? What if he wanted to be a good Kai, and he was just working on getting rid of his evil intent? Because if you look here in this picture, it's an image of Zamasu. Actually, this looks like the first legitimate, sincere smile that I see out of his face. Like somebody in this scene right here, Gowasu, his teacher, mentor, whatever, is complimenting him. Hey man, you made a really good tea, and making a good tea, makes it so that making a good tea represents you having a pure heart, right? Or something along those lines. Okay, so with that said, Zamasu made a good tea. He made it real dank. Gowasu was cool with it. He was sipping on it, doing his thing. And all of a sudden, Zamasu's like, yo, what if we killed everybody? It's you and me, Gowasu. And man, dude, that just kind of put Gowasu on edge. And he was like, yo, probably not a good idea. But okay, my point is, let's say everything happened. Let's say it gets to the point where it's Goku versus Zamasu, and Zamasu is like, okay, Ningen, whatever. But my point, let's get to the point here. Alright, picture this where Zamasu, Goku Black, comes through, and they go and kind of question Zamasu, and they watch him, and for some reason, while they're watching him, like right here, they're watching him, right, and everybody's watching him because he's by Gowasu, he's standing right behind him, about to kill him, right? So, God on God, homicide, goddess side, deity side, whatever. Goddess side is good. But, alright, with all that said, what if Gowasu was never killed by Zamasu, and Zamasu kind of observed everything, right? Instead of letting the insanity take over him, he kind of just sits back and calculates. This could be like the most calculated Zamasu out there, right, in all of existence. So he decides to calculate and just kind of observe, see what happens, like what's going on, dude, like, okay, maybe they're tripping, maybe I'm tripping. But he sits back. He just takes his time, calculative, right? So this is what I see happening. They go to the future, they fight Goku Black, they do everything, they power him up, and then Zamasu realizes this is getting out of hand. Or, go back, right? This is what I picture happening. When Beerus kills Zamasu, right? So this is actually what makes me think that Zamasu was actually a good Kai, trying to repent, I guess. Alright, so this is I've already talked about this, how the Zamasu arc, the Future Trunks arc should have been more, could have been more. Maybe they could make a movie and remake the idea, whatever. But Zamasu, let's say the creature black, as you see right here, the creature that was floating in the shadows, that's probably what that evil Zamasu wanted to become, right? And we all wish that creature would have been the main villain, the true black, right? So anyway, I've already talked about that. So think about this, right? What if, okay, Goku Black was protected because, remember when Beerus said whenever a god messes with time, it's not like when a mortal messes with time? And so Beerus said, I'm going to destroy this Zamasu from this timeline, like he always wanted to after he heard that Zamasu was causing trouble. He destroys Zamasu, as you see here. He grabs Zamasu's little hand and just twists it, and he just blows him up, turns him into space dust, right? So what if that Zamasu came back somehow? This is how he could come back, right? And if he would have came back, he would have came back pure, without that evil, right? He should have came back. He should have had immortality at that point, right? Either from his own wish with the Super Dragon Balls, or with the time chain thing, you could say, okay, because this is what Beerus probably meant. Okay, the reason why Zamasu survived, Goku Black, he survived because he had the time ring. That was his excuse. And then the future Zamasu, he survived because he already had the immortality. So how come the present Zamasu didn't survive? Because that could have kind of been linked. Like if the future Zamasu has immortality, maybe the present Zamasu has immortality, right? Or something. Or it could have been like where Zamasu had already wished for immortality, and then he gets Hakkai'd, and instead of being destroyed, he comes back. Or maybe his spirit is still alive, and it's like a pure good spirit, and then that Zamasu helps them fight. That would have been so awesome if that Zamasu would have helped them fight. He could have been, and the foreshadowing that Gowasu made about the Potaras and them fusing, that could have been good. Gowasu and Zamasu could have fused, and that could have been the new Supreme Kai, right? By default or whatever. But that's just an idea. If Toriyama, you ever decide to make a movie out of the Future Trunks arc, it's a pretty cool way to make Zamasu good. But at the end of the day, Zamasu would probably be like, man, okay, I helped you all do this, but I gotta go, man. I can't have these thoughts and be around you, Ningen. So I'm gonna just bounce, and he's gonna go off like to the edge of the universe and just, because he's gonna be immortal, right? He's gonna be immortal. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna go off to the edge of the universe and just think, and then one day he could come back to help them. He could be like, yo, okay, just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone because I'm thinking these weird thoughts. So these weird thoughts are in my head. So what he's going to do is go and rest his head, think things over. And when they need him, he's probably going to be like, okay, you Ningen, if you ever need me, hit me up or whatever. And he's gonna go as Universe 10. He's gonna be like, leave me alone, or whatever. I don't know, dude. Or he's gonna go off into space and just fly away, think, and then somebody else will have to be Supreme Kai, or Gowasu will have to train somebody else or something. Maybe they could defuse somehow. Obviously they can. But anyway, Zamasu would go off into the distance and be one of those characters that just shows up when they truly need him. The good version anyway. But that is just a what if scenario. Thank you all for checking the video out. Let me know what you think of this theory. Thank you very much. Sayonara till tomorrow. See ya. Have a good day.